When it comes to the wonderful world of cinema, there's only one universal truth that The Mummy with Brendan Fraser is the best movie to ever hit the big screen. Aside from that, shit's wild. People have all types of different perspectives and opinions on movies, as well they should. However, there's one very incorrect opinion on movies that they can't have a good villain, where if your villain isn't just like a comical mustache twirling bad Dr. Robotnik, then your villain is problematic and a plague on society. Not a new movement or anything, but with the new Joker movie, this whole perspective has been cranked up to the 10th level, engaging deep space turbo hyperdrive shit. People are outraged about the Joker being a well-designed villain and the protagonist of the movie. This is something we've talked about on the podcast, but I keep getting emails about it and being asked about it during streams at twitch.tv/moistcritical, and I thought, fuck it, I'll make a video talking about it, because I do feel kind of passionately about this. I like when a movie does something different. Having a villain as a protagonist, it's not different. Shit happens all the time. That's a very common thing. But for some reason, in this case, it's totally different because now it's the Joker. It's too extreme now. The Joker's gonna unite all the incels together, forming like a Voltron force of pure virgin weird energy. These incels are gonna watch Joker and be inspired to stop sniffing Dorito powder with the lights off in their hentai masturbatorium, to go out in society and be degenerates. It's just such a fucking reach, and when I say people are outraged, it's mainly journalists, and journalist is a very generous term for what their profession is these days. At this point, they're basically just tweet compilers where they'll grab a random fucking tweet and write 2 sentences about it and slap it on an article. That's the whole goddamn thing. But we live in a society meme, unfortunately, where people can't separate fiction from reality. There's just this good chunk of people, the same chunk that argues video games cause violence, and if you play one violent video game, you're 60 times more likely to go down the street and slap someone's ass and call them a noob. It's this idea where you become what you interact with. You can't separate the fiction from yourself. When you watch a movie, you become the protagonist, you get inspired by the protagonist. For all intents and purposes, you are relating very hard to the character. So in this case, they feel the Joker being the villain here, a very bad villain, people are going to become that very bad villain because they're watching him on the screen. It's pretty sad how journalists think people as a whole are so fucking stupid that they shouldn't be allowed near anything negative because they might take it on themselves. And yes, I know people have been inspired by shit, including the Joker before, to do horrible things, but that's just psychopath people, outliers. People got inspired by fucking Slender Man to try and murder people. There's nothing you can do if someone is a psychopath and susceptible to something like that. You shouldn't just restrict the whole idea of presenting a villain that's well written. It's just very restrictive and just so fucking stupid, and it's insulting to culture as a whole. It's the same arguments people made over a decade ago where they were saying Marilyn Manson is the one who's causing people to worship the devil. If you play Marilyn Manson's music backwards, you can hear Satan farting on the track, and it's brainwashing the youth to have them kill themselves and commit heinous crimes in society. Get rid of Marilyn Manson quick. It's like they just want to wash away anything that's not fucking Paw Patrol and Finger Family videos. And people say this a lot. There used to be a time where if you didn't like something, you'd just say, hey, that wasn't for me. I'm not going to see that. I'm not going to promote it or anything like that. But that's never been a time in our history. Anytime someone doesn't like something, they rally very hard against it. Even a decade ago with GTA Vice City, there was a huge movement of mothers against GTA, where they'd say, this cannot happen, my son's gonna go out, steal cars, and fuck bitches all the time and commit crime. And they'd try and lobby to get GTA taken off the stores. It's always been there. It's always been a part of our society, where if you don't like something, it's not enough to just say, not for me, didn't like it, won't really be sharing it with anyone. It's always been, didn't like it, gotta go, censor it, get the fuck out of here. It's not allowed to be out there because I didn't like it. And I think that's the worst mentality to have. I think it's very important to say, I didn't like it, but I can see why people would like it, and they should have the option to see if it's something that's for them. Just wasn't for me. I wish it was more accepting in that capacity, but it's never been like that. And I don't know why people look on it like the glory days, where all of a sudden people were so accepting of, yeah, I didn't like it, that's fine, you can like it. That's never been the fucking case. I'd argue now that's more the case than it's ever been. But you see all of this, since everyone's so connected on Twitter and shit, you're constantly being shown these fringe media posts and people going really hard against something and lobbying really hard to get something taken down. So you see it more often, but I would say it's not as prevalent as an issue as it used to be. Which is a great thing, I suppose, but the Joker one is a little different. This one's pretty fucking massive, And when I say most people, I am once again referring to like the same usual suspects, your fucking Vices and shit like that, writing these clickbaity pieces about why the Joker is going to be the one that leads to World War III, as if this fictional character has that kind of real world implication possibility. It's just silly. It's fucking silly. And that is my perspective on the Joker drama. I think people need to be more ready to open themselves up to maybe something a little different. In this case, it's not even fucking different. It's just a villain as a main character. He just happens to be a pretty well-known villain and a pretty well-written villain. That's about it. See ya.